Deadpool loves the Desert Eagle Pistolero. Counter-Strike and Call of Duty players love the Desert Eagle. The Desert Eagle in 50 Action Express is the king of pistols and the king of semi-automatic calibers.
The fact that I've got Desert Eagle .50 written on the side of mine.
But how difficult is it to do Deadpool stuff or video game stuff in real life? There's a sport of pistol shooting called USPSA, and I took a 50 AE Desert Eagle to find out. And there's definitely some stuff you're going to want to know about. Whoa! Okay.
A little too hard.
So just to appreciate how massive the recoil of a 50 AE Desert Eagle is, this is a 9mm round, this is a 45 ACP round, and this is a 50 Action Express round. You know, the one she told you not to worry about. And that's roughly 30% more massive than a 45 ACP at a speed equivalent to a 9mm. And the fireball of the 50 AE in the Desert Eagle cannot be oversold. It is a lot of energy coming back at you, and because it is a 4.5 pound gun, it is a big weight to be swinging around in front of you, and it's a lot of weight to carry on your hip. Because the gun is so heavy, it does a great job of mitigating like pain from something like recoil, but it doesn't mitigate the flip that you get, and it is a lot of weight snapping back into place when the gun cycles. Now, I'm a pretty big dude. I'm roughly 1.25 to 1.5 Ryan Reynoldses. I am no stranger to the Whataburger drive-through line. I've got a background in competitive pistol shooting for about the past 10 years, so I'm pretty squared away on pistol mechanics and recoil mitigation. And that all said, this is still a pretty big handful for me. So I decided to take Mr. Deagle to a USPSA pistol match, but the problem is that nobody really makes gear for competitive shooting for Desert Eagles. There are some holsters, yes, and some mag pouches, but they aren't made for competition shooting. And the other problem is that the Desert Eagle comes with exactly one magazine, and in 50 AE, that sucker is good for only 7 rounds. So you've got 7 plus 1 in the gun. A typical loadout in a pistol competition is going to be between about 40 to 60 rounds on the belt, so I needed a lot of help. Both Magnum Research, who makes the Desert Eagle, and Optics Planet thought it was hilariously awesome to try it, so they helped me out with the magazines. Thank you to them for helping make this video possible.
My mag loader doesn't fit on the magazine.
But since the cartridge and magazine as a result is so long, the traditional mag pouches used in USPSA won't work. So similarly, Devil Alpha also thought it was ridiculous what I was doing and helped me out with these magnet mag pouches that will take a Desert Eagle magazine no problem. Get off of there. It's grabbing my mic. So with that all squared away, I had 35 rounds of 50 AE on my belt plus a magazine in the gun. The problem was I needed a holster. Originally, I thought my Devil Alpha Academy holster, the Flex holster, was going to be able to accommodate the Desert Eagle, but I found out the hard way that it doesn't because nobody shoots a Desert Eagle in competition. The match was only 5 days away, so I was limited to what could happen on Amazon, and I was able to get a holster in time that was a Velcro universal holster that I was able to make work for the sound price of $15. So with the gear solved, I had to figure out how to shoot this darn thing. I don't have it on video, but the first time I shot the pistol was at an indoor range, so I could fully appreciate the fireballs that this thing throws, and it throws amazing fireballs. I giggled like an absolute schoolgirl and realized I had my handful, so I took it to my home club and practiced.
I am at 8 yards to see how the Desert Eagle is going to perform with double taps, if you will. Let's see what we got here. Ammo's expensive, so we only get a couple tries at this. Oh, good grief. Okay, all right, I see what needs to be done. Mr. Desert Eagle, that's one in the middle, then one really, really low, one in the middle, then I tried a little bit more and it came back a little bit high. So I definitely still have to figure out how the heck to contain this thing. In a pistol match, sometimes you gotta shoot one-handed, so let's see what happens. Oh, good God. Sometimes you gotta shoot support hand only. Oh, I hit the steel. 25. That's actually not that bad. All right, I'm back at 25 yards with the Desert Eagle to see how it hits on the target, because in a match, you're gonna have far shots, so let's see how this bad boy goes. Oh my gracious, here we go. Yeah, buddy. Doesn't lock back, but I think that's me. I can't believe that there's a flash like that in the middle of the day is what really floors me about that gun. But the accuracy's pretty good. All right, Mr. Desert Eagle, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's pretty accurate, in all honesty, to be as powerful as this son of a gun is. I mean, that's a pretty good grouping. That's me just getting scared of the gun, I guess.
Now, the problem is that most competition firearms, you can manipulate the safety with your firing hand thumb, and that's very normal and fast. The Desert Eagle is not normal in this regard and has a massive safety up on the slide that have to push up to go into fire. And I had to figure out how to, on presentation, disable the safety, so I ended up using my support hand. I got it sorted out, but my draw was gonna suffer roughly a half a second to 3/4 second penalty of remembering to disable the safety with my support hand. So with that all figured out, I headed out to 38 America, a new range in Whitesboro, Texas, for a USPSA match.
So, living life on hard mode today.
This is awesome. That's an expensive stage.
I feel like Randy Marsh when he needs a wheelbarrow to carry his nuts around.
1 ounce of purple orbital.
So I learned a lot from shooting this bad boy in the match. First and foremost, this gun rotates a lot and you have to use like a Magnum revolver style grip. A typical very high pistol grip isn't going to work. I'll get into that more in a second. The gun will rotate in recoil and you just have to be ready for it when it comes back, and it will want to nosedive because the snout is so heavy on the gun. The next is a phenomenon called limp wristing. Most of the people who say Desert Eagles aren't reliable are limp wristing, and I know they're gonna sound off in the comments saying they've shot pistols their whole life, but that's what causes the gun to choke. If you don't push really hard into the back of the gun will not go all the way into battery when it cycles. So I had to tap the slide back into battery when I was shooting strong hand only. The next is actually more hilarious, and this actually happened to me. So this little button right here, see it right there? That is the takedown button. You press this down and rotate this lever on the side right here, and then the barrel comes off, which I managed to do on the most valuable stage in the match. So I shot about half the stage and then had to take penalties for all the targets that I didn't shoot at. So ultimately it affected my finish in the match, but I'm still not mad at it because I was able to put it back together and finish the match. Next is that reloads are hard with the Desert Eagle. Like, that is the magwell on a Desert Eagle, that is the magazine. They're roughly the same size, so there's not a lot of margin for error in getting the reload complete. So I kind of feel like Deadpool may have been exaggerating when he dropped a magazine into the grip of his gun. Next, the power coming off this gun is absolutely hilarious, and you notice it in two forms. Steel targets that were reactive knockdown, they just like gave up on life when they got hit by these things. It was fantastic.
Yeah, that's you.
That was me. And the other is the shockwave coming off the front of the gun. Since this is a non-compensated, no integral muzzle brake on the gun, all of the energy was coming out the muzzle, and targets that were like 6 to 7 feet away would get blown back in their target stands due to the shockwave coming off the front of this gun.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Next is that if you've shot a Desert Eagle once, you know, oh, that's not so bad. But when you're shooting it 160 times, I left the range with my hands just an absolute, it just felt like I was doing like a heavy deadlift style workout. My forearms and even up in my shoulders and lats, the muscles that I wasn't even aware I was using to contain the recoil from a gun, all of that was smoked when I left the range. I was pretty exhausted. And that wasn't the only thing that was fatigued. My wallet was a little fatigued because sadly the 50 AE costs about $1.50 a round if you buy it in bulk, which I did. So my ammo bill alone for the match was about $240.
Oh, look at it. What'd you think about that? It's tough to reach that mag button, isn't it?
But it's not as bad as I make it sound, because at the end of the match, I let my squad each take a turn shooting around through the Deagle.
Holy crap.
Holy.
And I think they all agree with me that it's awesome.
So what happens when a small Brazilian man shoots a big American gun?
Made in USA. Holy crap, man. Look at that.
She did that well.
I like it.
You managed the recoil very well, better than most of the guys who shot it.
So if you don't follow the channel, I do a ton of gun reviews, and generally speaking, I don't develop like any sort of emotional response to any of the guns that I shoot. But the Desert Eagle is a magic firearm. Like, this is in my forever collection. I may end up getting more of them in the future just because they are so awesome. Like, they are easily one of my favorite handguns now. These things are legit. The Deagle is the king of meme guns for a reason. It's just absolutely bonkers. And now if you're interested in getting started in the competitive shooting sports, I've got this video here you can watch to learn about it. And if you want to see the whole match video where I shot every round through this gun, you can see that here as well.